And someone in chat said he's a urologist. Very cool.
What's a urologist?
Isn't that the male doctor? It's like the penis doctor, basically.
Get out of here.
Ready to work.
No, I'm being serious. It's actually it's a really good profession. They're like the people that like diagnose testicular cancer and all that stuff. Bladder.
That does
bladder.
not sound fun at all.
Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
Ready to work.
Anyway.
It's very rare for somebody that was like a pro gamer and like a very successful one at that to say like, I'm gonna go back to uni and then like actually study hard and become like anything like, you know, medicine related or like just any kind of heavy studies. But I don't know. I feel like there's definitely been cases, but it would have to be like in the low percentages of ex-pro gamers that actually did that. Because I feel like once you've been a pro gamer, going back to like a regular study schedule or even like a regular job feels like really hard in comparison, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And med school is about as hard as it gets.
Yeah.
But oh, so someone is saying that urologist is like the urine tract. So it's kidneys, bladders, all that kind of stuff.
But only
so
for men wrong. Or women as well?
For women too.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't wrong with the penis part, but it's not just penis. Anyway.
Oh
so we see Foggy is kind of going back to his most comfortable build, which is this is what he does 90% of the time on netties. So I think Foggy is like, okay, I had my fun doing my unconventional builds. I'm gonna go to what I'm comfortable with and make sure that I get this win. Obviously I don't know who won the game, but Foggy is by Foggy going his keeper archer opening, that tells me like, okay, I'm gonna try hard now.
Yeah.
I want to make sure not to lose this.
What does your wife do, by the way?
She's a doctor. My wife is a pediatrician.
What's a pediatrician?
That's the kid doctor.
Ah.
Doctor of children.
So like their diagnostics and stuff for kids are like very different. Again, I guess like some of the illnesses and everything.
Illnesses, yeah, everything is different for kids. The main thing is like the medicines that are appropriate to use and the dosages and like what you see in kids. And what I've learned from my wife being a doctor is a lot of doctors, like they see trends in the hospital. So like you'll see, like right now, there's this RSV, which is like this virus that's very common. Yeah. And you see trends of it as these kids come into the hospital. And then the way you treat it is like based on the trends. And like, and then obviously what you learned in med school and everything. So, yeah, but those trends that you see with kids are very different than what you see in adults. So essentially, like a pediatrician is going to be a lot more comfortable treating those, you know, childlike trends than an adult doctor or like a general practitioner. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
A teacher and a doctor. How cliche.
That is our house. we are a cliche household, and we got our first kid on the way. I'm gonna be a dad in like 3 months now.
What is he gonna be, an astronaut?
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. But anyway,
a little bit of creeping going on both sides. Interesting that ThorzaiN makes the blacksmith in front of his tunnel. By the way, I feel like. Personally, I usually make it inside of my base, and I kind of don't like it, but I'm like also, that kind of makes it very safe while it's going up.
Yeah, I've actually seen ThorzaiN do this a lot. I think he likes basically just creating a padding or creating a cushion for his main, because that blacksmith has a bajillion HP, and it has 5 armor. It's just really hard to take down. And even if you are pushing the base, focusing that blacksmith just kind of feels bad. Even if you're able to kill that blacksmith when you are trading bases, it doesn't really stop the undead from doing anything. Like worst case scenario, they have to remake it, but it doesn't, you know, they can still usually produce units from their other stuff. So yeah, I can see why he does it. I also can see an argument of why you put it in the back, but.
Did you pick a name for your kid already?
We didn't. We're considering names, actually.
If you have any did you say, is it a boy or a girl?
It's a boy. It's a boy.
Can you say the name or that you're thinking about?
I mean, honestly, we're considering like 10 or 15 different names. We have no idea what we're going to name them. So if you have any suggestions,
I think Death Note sounds pretty good.
Death Note. Can you imagine? What What if his name actually was Death Note? And he like goes.
Everyone
to
say hello to
day.
the new person in the class. Death Note,
goes
white
to-
side.
He goes to his first day of class and he's like, "Hi guys, my name is Death Note." All the other kids are like, "What the hell?" They go home and they tell their parents, "Yeah, my best friend, his name is Death Note." And the parents are like, "Stay away from him."
Wasn't there like some really crazy names that were given to kids and stuff nowadays?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
You know some?
Yeah, no, so... Oh my
I'm sure
God,
there's some
no.
parents who are just like, they don't give a shit about anything. They're like, all right, we're just gonna name him Thanos or whatever.
Yeah. So I work in a low income school, and I'm not saying that ridiculous names come with low income and poverty, but
Oh my god.
they do. Honestly, they do. It is like a very well correlated thing that the lower income families are more likely to have ridiculous names, and it's like some of these names when you see them on paper and then you hear the way that they're supposed to be pronounced, you're like, what the hell were your parents thinking? Like, seriously, like, I'm sorry, but you should be able to look at a name and know how to pronounce it. Like, I'm all for having like unique and original names and whatnot, but when you see a name, you should know how to pronounce it.
I feel like, to be honest, names are kind of like music taste or food or like even like tattoos. Like, if somebody wants to pick a certain name, whatever, they should just go ahead. Maybe you're just hater for like criticizing them. If somebody wants to name their kid Corvette, go right ahead, whatever.
No, I mean, they have the right to do that.
Yeah, I think if somebody doesn't like their name anyway, they can just rename, right? It's not that hard.
Let me give you an example of a name of a kid in my school. The name is SSSS. Okay, that's the name, SSSS. You know how you pronounce it? No, you pronounce it Forest. Because there's 4 S's. Forest. SSSS. I'm like, exactly.
It's a Russian spy.
Exactly. I'm like, who does this to their kid? I'm sorry, but like, are you serious? Who does that? Anyway. Meanwhile, there's a Warcraft 3 game being played, and ThorzaiN is taking the middle ogre, and he's gonna get the claws of attack plus 12. One thing I meant to comment on is we do see Panda second from Foggy, whereas normally in this matchup he does go Alchemist, so that's a little bit different. And he's also staying tier 2 and going Dryads. So meanwhile on ThorzaiN's side, ThorzaiN is he's doing rifles but transitioning into a tier 3 army. So
he might be thinking giants already. Against which you need Mortars plus Knights and Paladin all the time. And even Priest, Master Priest is amazing also in this kind of case.
Master Priest is so good. Yeah, Inner Fire, when you're fighting against Inner Fire, it feels like Inner Fire may as well be named Invulnerability because it just feels so hard to kill units that have
This
Inner
game
Fire.
feels a little surreal, by the way. If you look at the main base of Night Elf, he's tier 2. And then you look at the main base of Human, he's halfway through to Castle, and like he's already getting a Workshop. So imagine like Dryads against a bunch of Fragmentation Shard Mortars. Like, not even 4S could win that game.
We have gotten some really unique games. This is something that I kind of expected earlier and I didn't. So Foggy likes to harass with his Keeper. So I kind of expected like Solo Creeping Panda harassing with Solo Creeping Panda harassing with Keeper a little bit more than we saw this game.
And he got to cancel on the Workshop. Like, this is the best harass. This is like the best case scenario that Foggy could have hoped for here. Because not only he killed the Workshop before that completed, so that means no flying machine to shut down the Zeppelin. So now you can just kind of keep ThorzaiN hostage back at home. ThorzaiN's wood economy is going to be in absolute shambles. Actually, I would buy a Shredder if I was him, I think.
And meanwhile, we see a building. I'm guessing it's a Tree of Life. Yes, we do see a Tree of Life going up in the top. So
and he's doing this so well. He doesn't need to level his Keeper, so he keeps Keeper and 4 Dryads inside of the Zeppelin. And he's going to creep with the Panda to try and rush it to level 5.
Okay. So this is kind of what I expected to happen like 2 minutes ago or so. So a little bit later than I expected, but this is usually how you play this matchup. At least when you're doing this like tier 2 strategy. Because essentially, eventually those Dryads are just going to be cannon fodder for, you know, what's it called? Mortar teams and riflemen and knights and stuff. So you have to gain an advantage somehow. And usually you do gain that advantage by an expansion. So we do see Foggy throwing up that expand, but that's only halfway done, and it still has to walk over there, then entangle. So we're not looking for that expand to be up for at least like 2.5, 3 minutes. But he's also gaining an advantage by creeping really heavily. So we see Panda is almost level 4. He's going to get 4 off this creep camp. And meanwhile, ThorzaiN is, because of that workshop cancel, ThorzaiN is scared as hell of leaving his main. He's like, okay, you're doing this keeper harass, I have to sit here. So really well played by Foggy, kind of scaring ThorzaiN into being an idle player.
He already has a mana potion as well, by the way, that he brought with the keeper. She's gonna be amazing on that Panda.
Yeah, which being an idle player, especially when you're playing at a high level, just never feels good. Like when you're not moving around the map, it just feels so bad. You know, when you're not doing anything. So, yeah, nice little harass by Foggy, and I'm wondering if that's going to transition into the win. But that was a very nice play.
Double staff is going to be really sick for him as well. Oh, we heard that. ThorzaiN heard the sentry ward going down. That Tree of Life is so fast. Nature's Blessing makes buildings actually look ridiculous, like they're speed racers. The Archer drop, what the hell is this?
Oh, another thing I mentioned last game, but people were surprised about, is the Nature's Blessing upgrade actually applies to the Keeper's Treants as well. So it gives them a little bit more armor, makes them a little bit tankier as well.
Yeah, not that they needed to be, because they're already pretty OP. No, nothing.
I'm just gonna dodge that one.
I sold Boots of Quel'Thalas.
Yeah,
I played too much Dota. I kept saying Boots of Elven Skin before.
Yeah, Boots of Quel'Thalas is pretty useless.
But he's gonna make a Yasha out of this, or what?
I love it, Sage and Yasha.
Evasion actually for the Pada. I think if he gives that to the Mountain King, that's very nice. You can really like do a lot of tanking at the front.
It increases I'm actually not. Does it increase Treant's movement speed? I think it does increase Treant's movement speed a little bit as well. So
really?
You see their armor. I think it does. He's moving kind of quickly. To be honest, I'm not sure if it increases movement speed. I know it increases the armor though. It takes their armor from.
Hey, it did move pretty fast.
Yeah, it's either 2 up to 5 or 3 up to 5. I forget. Or sorry, 2 up to 5 or 1 up to 5.
Oh, I think it said it. Okay, the next time he summons, we can actually click on them and see it.
Oh, okay. In this harass, again, very, very nice. He's buying time for Fan to go up. Foggy is playing these little harasses so well. This is kind of... I touched on this earlier, but it never feels good just straight up fighting against riflemen. Like, you don't want to. You don't want to stand there and take damage from the riflemen. So you try and, like, gain advantages by other means when you play elf against human. So in this case, Foggy is doing a great job of doing these hit and runs on the economy of ThorzaiN to gain an advantage. But we do see ThorzaiN throwing up an expand in the bottom right. Meanwhile, Foggy did dodge that bolt with a TP. We should have commented on it. One thing I'm surprised about, Foggy is tier 3 now, and he didn't buy the orb. I'm thinking he was like, oh crap, I forgot to buy the orb.
Yeah, he's gonna get it now. Yeah, I think he wasn't in a rush to get it necessarily, because they weren't that close to even like fighting anytime soon. But these archers are actually going to be really sick, because there's quite a few priests. If he properly targets onto them, they're going to die very quick, and then once the priests are gone, those treants are going to have a field day.
Yeah. And those priests being able to target, or sorry, the archers being able to target the priests in the fight is one of the things you want to look for in the inevitable fight that's going to come. I expect a fight to happen, actually not for a while, because there's not really any incentive to fight. There's no creeps left on the map with the exception of a couple patrol berserkers over on the left-hand side. So essentially at this point, both players are just kind of sitting idly, but happily. They're both kind of mining, and they're like, all right, well, I don't want to fight you. You don't want to fight me. I'm just going to wait till I have my perfect army composition to fight you.
Foggy broke up keep way earlier. He had the expo earlier, and I think when he gets 80, he starts going across the map and fighting a lot, because he has double staff of preservation. He's going to be able to save so many units and do really well, I think.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, I wasn't... Okay, select the Treant on the left.
Uh-huh.
Heavy armor... No, wait, what? I thought it said something about the upgrade earlier.
It says the armor 5. I don't see any movement speed or anything.
Yeah. Move speed average.
I think it is slow first.
Yeah.
So I think it does get a buff from like slow to average or something. But
That's
anyway.
a bit of XP feeding, by the way. Just sending these guys by themselves.
I think it's actually worth it because just being the vision that you're getting and like.
No, it's not like ThorzaiN sent the Pala. You got a whole bunch of XP.
Yeah.
You're powering him to level 3. He gets +3 attack. Oh my god. This human army is gonna be absurd.
Yeah.
I actually think like if human gets 80 supply of like a knight priest. Wait, what the? He's getting sorceress? Oh, this is really bad. I think he's supposed to get knights, more priests. Like you go up to like I don't know 7, 8 priests even. I think it's even better than getting sorceresses. But then again, I think that's mostly against mass giants, right? I do think that against the bears, maybe you need some sorceresses.
Yeah, but priest, I agree with you. I think priest, rifle, mortar, knight is the best.
Yeah, you can just inner fire your entire army. You can dispel everything. You're never gonna have any worry.
By the way, we do kind of see like this god tier army coming out from Foggy. He has 2/2 upgrades, and that inevitable fight is about to happen. Foggy is like, okay, I have my 80 food army. Let's do this. I expect him to stop at the shop on the way down to buy another heal scroll, and then he's gonna take a fight. I saw he did also get the mountain giant skin upgrades, so. Look to see those mountain giants taunting so that the bears are able to pump out the damage, and also look to see the archers focusing down on the priests.
Yeah, hardened skin is actually on the way. It's almost done.
Okay. I was wrong. He didn't stop by the shop. I'm kind of surprised by that.
Mountain King's at the front. Inner fire gonna be used preemptively here. I really would have liked some knights at the front. Foggy on 80 supply, ThorzaiN on 69. Not quite able to really buy any time here just yet. He might have to reposition in a sec. Wisps are coming in. There's going to be some Treants summoned. Arcane Tower is immediately put on the Panda. It's going to take a lot of mana away from him. He needs to pop the info.
Yeah, those detonates are pretty massive. And ThorzaiN is really feeling not having knights in.
I think he should TP. He should TP above his town or something on the other side.
I agree. Yeah, like TPing right on top of those archers would feel pretty good. Those archers are pumping out a lot of damage.
Keeps on. He kept on taking mana away from the Panda, but he's going to be right back with 4 mana. The Panda doesn't have the mana to heal the Mountain King.
Oh my gosh, Mountain King got stopped out with like 1 HP. Another big breath of fire coming out. The Arcane Tower is now focusing the Panda, and the Archmage is forced to TP out of this expansion, so Foggy's going to break the expand.
Wow. And he still has a mana pot on the Panda.
Meanwhile, the Paladin did fall there.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, actually.
Some big mistakes there from ThorzaiN, not having knights in his army. When he got the inner fire dispelled, he didn't recast the dispel, and he also didn't reposition his army. He kind of got into a bad position there, and he didn't want to back up. It never really feels good to back up in a fight because you're not doing damage when you're moving, but I think he should have backed up there. And now we see that TP coming out on top by the archers, but Foggy is going to take out the expand and then say, later, nerd, and be happy with the win of taking out his expand.
The fountain on the left side, on the top left side, still hasn't been crept. I think if I was ThorzaiN, I'd go for that, and I think I'd just wait for the main base to be mined out and then take the expo.
But then ThorzaiN crept half of that fountain.
Yeah.
So
here's the thing, though. Night Elf, when they mine out their main base, they're gonna move the tree to the center because it's a broken race with trees that move.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So the main should be expiring soon. Yeah, the main is at about 1,000 gold left. So you kind of expect what ends up happening if these games do go super long is Night Elf will just walk all of his trees into the middle, and then he'll take the middle expand.
By the way, evasion was on the Pala. That's a big. I think if that had been on Mountain King, he would have tanked quite a bit more.
Yeah, he would have tanked 15% more, actually.
Yeah, which is a lot, because he was there a long time, getting healed and just trying to take a lot of the damage.
I was just joking. was a shot to you of your yeah, that's a 10 food. Anyway, forget it. So we see I can't even talk. Go for it, Todd.
Alright, let's see if Foggy can micro this better than some parents can name their kids. In Lado School, Mountain King! Oh my god! He didn't even heal this! And he didn't have Talisman of Evasion, which would have been 15% more damage dodged here. It's a disaster.
And Paladin does ding level 5, and throwing out those level 3 Breath of Fires, just damaging the entire arm. Orb of Venom on the Keeper, doing a ton of damage. The taunts on the Mountain Giants are kind of forcing him in the fight. And the Panda gets staffed out and staffed back in. Look at both heroes on Nail. Both heroes have both stats, meaning they're able to kind of staff in and out of the fight.
He's got Sengoku and Vegeta at the same time in his army.
Oh my! Well played by Foggy. Well done. That was a really fun game.